Hi, this is the making of the short salsa song Rules Don't Apply to Me, posted on YouTube under Vince My Music. First, we'll look at the motivation and creative thoughts behind this video. Then we'll get into the compositional aspects, as well as a bit on arranging and orchestration. Finally, we'll take a short peek into the video elements and how I put everything together in Final Cut Pro for the end product. I hope this detailing of my processes inspires you to make and put out your own creations. Hi there. So as promised, I'm going to talk about the making of Rules Don't Apply to Me. First, I just wanted to say, what motivated me for this? Okay, well, I was in my garage and I was working out. It's like a garage, right? It's full of boxes and stuff like that in my car, and it's kind of cold. But I'm going through this workout and I thought, well, why don't I just play some music that sort of inspires me, gets me going, and I put on a bunch of Latin jazz and salsa. Now, I have a fair bit of experience playing this kind of music as well. I've been in salsa bands and Latin jazz groups for a few decades. And having played this music a lot, I just thought, well, why not? Because, it makes me feel good, and I'm hoping that, okay, why don't I just do a really short version, and maybe someone else will appreciate this too, while we're in the middle of our winter. The political aspect of it came along later, when I was recording it, and I put, a long trumpet solo in the back half, and I thought, what, coro, which is Spanish for chorus, would be a nice thing. And often in some of these salsa tunes, you'll have a chorus singing, and then it's answered by a soloist, and usually a trumpet soloist, and then like the chorus comes in again, and it's sort of like a question answer sort of deal. And that I thought would be really nice for the back half of this, and that's how that came about. So when you're thinking about coro, you got to think about what words you're going to say, and the melody and that kind of stuff, and then how can the trumpet answer that, or in this case the flugelhorn. So on a walk, I was thinking about this whole thing is about being somewhere where I can't be, and then the current news being such that, okay, we have a bunch of politicians that are taking off, even though there's these stay-at-home health guidelines being put out to us. Don't go anywhere, don't travel, it's not safe. But then we got all these politicians taking off to really nice places like Hawaii and the Caribbean, enjoying the beach, stuff that I think we all wish that we could do. So anyway, that's where the rules don't apply to me words came about. And, it's not meant to be malicious or anything like that. It's mostly tongue-in-cheek. And because of the nature of the song, it's still supposed to be light and not, pointing at like, you shouldn't be doing this, that kind of thing, even though they shouldn't. So it was all, done in fun and in satirical jest, as they say. Anyway, let's get to the writing of this. So one of the first things that I had to come up with was, okay, let's think about tempo, and then find the chord changes that I want, major 7 sounding kind of stuff. So one of the first things that I wanted to do was come up with a chord progression that I really liked. And it's very major sounding. There's major 7ths in it. And you can take a look at the chart here. And here it is with just a guide rhythm section behind it. And so the chords I chose are, very friendly, and they go through some of the cycle of fifths, and they also have some nice 2-5-1s there to bring about resolve. So let's just take a quick listen to it. So the only major departure was the very last chord, because I just wanted to slightly take it somewhere else, and I kind of like that. I mean, I could have ended back on the G major 7, but that would be just a little bit too predictable. And for such a short little piece, I wanted to just turn the head a little bit with a slightly different chord change at the very last bit there. The bass part in lots of salsa is pushed, meaning that they arrive not, like on the chord change, not on beat 1 of the bar where it changes, but actually the preceding beat 4 of, the previous bar. So it's sort of like, it's more anticipatory, and but it's totally cool for me, because it makes it sort of groove differently than typical Western music. So here's it with the basses. And you can see that's the bass part being played right there. Okay, this is the coro part. And notice, the clave had stayed the same throughout all of this. Okay. So moving on, let's take a look at the horn section. Yeah, I think I want to take a look at that now. There's a counter line that I'll show you the part for. Okay, so you'll notice that the high trumpet parts aren't actually notated here. I just thought I would do that at the end there for fun, right? High trumpets, everyone loves that. So, okay, let's take a look at the counter line. So this is just a low brass, and it looks like this. And so if we play that again, you'll see the stuff going by. So there's a lot of similarities. Here comes a counter line right now. In the final mix, there was a few augmented instruments added to it, but that's primarily what the background horns were doing. Okay, let's take a quick look at the melody. And I want you to notice that it does follow the clave part. Let's just take a quick listen here. Here comes the melody. Coming up right now. So getting the visuals from Maui was really hard and really easy. Well, the hard part is getting there, but once you're there, it's just amazing. This was footage from Big Beach, 2015, and it was just perfect conditions. You can see Molokini in the background there. Anyway, it wasn't a windy day, and the ocean was quite calm, but then the breakers would just come up and just all of a sudden come out of nowhere. And so that made it for a really special thing. I had a GoPro on and was just taking it all in. So here's where we did most of the videoing. And the backdrop, the nice green, was from the fish tank that I have there. And so if you use a nice lens, you can have it blurred in the background. Plants close by. I wanted that really tropical feel. And of course, I have to have different sunglasses and different instruments, of course, because that's what was played. But you'll notice that the placement of the camera was quite interesting, because I had to get that fish tank background to make it look like I'm outside. And of course the lighting really helps for that illusion. Everything's really tightly shot, and so you don't have to show a lot of the background, as long as it's kind of bright and green and you have like a direct source of light coming from somewhere, so that sort of approximates sunlight, because that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to make it seem like we're at a beach somewhere in the tropics. And of course there's lots of props and tools for this kind of stuff. So once I got the individual instruments videotaped, it was mostly just finding spots for them to put on the backdrop. Finding the backdrop was, of course, the first step, and then putting it into Final Cut with all the different cuts. That was, of course, the very first step with the visual elements. I had a mix of the song, which I plopped in. So it's down here, the very first track, and then I popped in all the GoPro footage that I had from the 2015 trip to Maui. the wave action as well as, you know, the sun, and Hawaii is just fabulous. So anyway, so once I got that in there and, you know, synced it all up and cut it up to the picture, then it was mostly just a matter of, you know, putting in the individual instrument parts that that we had videoed while to play back. So, and you saw how I did all that, and yeah, it was just finding spots for it on the screen, and then of course putting in the titles, which is, you know, about the only other thing, along with, you know, the flugelhorn solo coming in and out, and you can see by these breaks here that it's, you know, pops in and out, you know, for the vocals, and then some more titles. But other than that, you know, it was just putting in the separate parts, and then just figuring out, you know, where these clips are going to die, you know, disappear off the screen, and that's just up to you to do. So anyway, this, you know, was a pretty simple process to put it all together, and yeah, and so the final product just looks like this, as you've seen many times. There you go. Thanks for watching. Thank you for watching the making of Rules Don't Apply to Me. Please subscribe, hit like for more. Ouch!